Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. So in this video we're gonna be allowing the user to add a new address. So to start out with, let's make sure that this only shows when this address is count specifically is greater than 0. So we just want to make sure that there is essentially no addresses in the database. And if not, we just want to hide the field because we do not really want to show it. So with that sorted, now we have the ability to go ahead and make sure there's no issue for when the user is logging in because we're iterating through it here. Alright, so it's also important for this to have a show address form, so we can essentially say add a new address or not. So by default this is going to be set to false. So if we go into check out the blade.php file, we're now going to add in a field here, which we're going to add in after we've made sure that this show address form is correctly displaying, so we want to hide it. And with that said, we're now going to go ahead and close that condition. And I'm just going to make it a bit more tidy, make the code a bit more pretty so it doesn't look completely unorganized. And in here we just want to add a tuple for the address form. Now we want to call this show address form, and because Livewire by default deferred, we need it to be live so that it automatically updates and trigger the rendering in here. Otherwise it wouldn't really happen, so we need this to be .live. And I'm gonna actually reorganize them a little bit. In this we also want to have M1 ML3, and I think we can also add a flex in here just to make sure it looks a bit better. So with that done, let's create a public function called addAddress. And inside here, let's make sure this show address form. Let's make sure we have the user here. So of user addresses create. And we just want to make sure that it actually happens with the address form turned into an array. So another thing we also want to make sure, so we have this button here. Now we can style it up and not. I actually think it looks alright, just without much of style. So I'm gonna add in a wire click here to add address. And with that sorted, we should now be able to trigger this form. So outside of adding the address here, let's also make sure that we have gone ahead and made these capital with the letter F because it's case sensitive. And with that out of the way, I'm gonna remove the form submit here because what we actually want to do at first is just the ability to add an address and then the pay button to be its own submit later on. So with that sorted, let's now go ahead in here, and I think we can add this into an if condition to make it a bit nicer. So what we can do in here is we can actually trigger an event that will update the cart, the checkout page, so we can essentially show the right new address added so they can select it. So I'm gonna go ahead into the cart item model and copy that. So let's just copy the cart updated event because we're using the same in here, and that will now be triggered. So if the event is successful, we will now trigger this. So let's go ahead and also make sure that we show the address form is false so it doesn't show the old fields, makes it a bit nicer. So I'm gonna go ahead and just add another address here. And the phone gets triggered and we now have a new address. So that's all for this video. And thank you very much for watching this video. Please hit the like button, the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video. Also, leave any comments if you have any questions below.